Hello and welcome to a very different episode of Not Quite Nerds. When we were due to record earlier this week, I was not very well at all, so we skipped recording this week, and I said I would put together some form of flashback. So what you're going to see right now is us flashing all the way back to the first three episodes and Mallory's first three Marvel Madnesses, and all the chaos and all the tangents that come off of that.
Brings us perfectly on then to Mallory and her 121 Marvel products. You go right back.
Yeah.
And you watch it in chronological order, and now that the multiverse is all involved, you've thrown those bad boys in as well.
Everything. And I realized I've screwed up my chronology.
Oh, no.
I know. And I blame both of you.
Oh, yeah. So it's obviously our fault.
I'm going to tell you what the screw up was. I'm going to tell you how it was your fault, and I'm going to tell you how I would fix it going forward. So, I'm doing them in chronological order of the actual chronology, not release date. So go first movie, Captain America, the oldest, chronologically that we have. And so I'd found something online about chronology of all the MCU. What they didn't have was the X-Men movies. Because they were not technically part of the
Those are just recently appropriated, and technically, I think, is in a different universe. But
yeah, but because of Avengers Doomsday, we know it's gonna kind of come back, especially with what am I blanking?
Deadpool Wolverine.
Deadpool Wolverine. Thank you. And what was the Marvels? No,
As the Marvels, the credits, Marvels.
Marvel's credit.
Yeah, we got Beast.
Oh, and then Multiverse of Madness. Everything's kind of coming back, so you never know. Even though Marvel has released what movies you should watch, I'm never going to trust them entirely because I know they're going to keep things secret. So I may as well go above and beyond. Plus, I have plenty of time. So when I asked you guys where I should put the X-Men movies, you guys said I should just put them in when they were released, and throw them in, which made sense at the time.
I see where we're going with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got the ones that were made before that, which is
True. Because you have Wizard of Origins, you have First Trail. Okay.
Exactly.
Fair enough. You know what? You're right.
I know. As I said, I'm always right.
Now, you could make the argument that takes place in Earth 818,
See, this is where I need you guys. I'm still not sure about the difference.
not Earth 616, because
it's definitely not 616 for 616.
I'm pretty sure it's Earth 818 is where First Class, Logan, where those kind of films come into play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's where Deadpool, when he's traveling through the multiverse, in his universe, and his primary one, which is 818, Logan is dead.
Right.
It's in Wolverine. So he then steals another Logan from out of the universe, I believe.
The original X-Men is Earth 10,005.
Oh, 2005.
That includes the Wolverine films and First Class. Then we get all sorts of differences because obviously there was stuff that they retconned in the sequels to First Class that then don't what happens later on in the X-Men film.
Well, because Days of Future
Sense map everything else.
ranges, they changed the future. Yeah. So, which was our past.
Days of Future Past.
Yeah. Back to the Future.
Here's a question for you then.
Yeah.
Elektra and Daredevil on that list.
No.
Which they should be, because Elektra makes her appearance.
I know, and I've never seen them.
Oh,
that's a sin. I was devastated.
That's a sin for two reasons. Number one, Ben Affleck. And number two, Kevin Smith is in that.
Yep.
See, I didn't know that. Okay, they brought on the list. Okay, so now we're moving the list from 121 to 123. This is why I can't date.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that would actually, like, if you put this on a Tinder profile or some sort of swipe right profile, currently rewatching the Marvel films or Marvel MCU universe and others, I'm pretty sure it would immediately bump you up a few lists there. I mean, there's guys out there right now that would be like, this is my dream woman. She's currently sitting down and watching 120 Marvel.
E3. That's true. All right, where am I putting him in? Chronological.
We have to do a little bit of digging because I'm not sure where the Daredevil and Electric fit in.
Chronologically, you can put these ones in chronologically when they were released. Okay, so you've got to fit them in there.
Because they are one-offs. And well, Daredevil and Elektra, they are connected, but they are one-offs in all the universes, because you don't see any other heroes in either one of those two movies.
No,
Except for Kingpin.
No, don't spoil it. No spoilers.
No.
Yeah. No.
In this, okay, the only thing I will say, Vincent D'Onofrio, phenomenal. Oh, God. The Kingpin in a Daredevil movie.
Oh, it's different. It's not Vincent.
It's not Vincent D'Onofrio, but you will be, I think, pleasantly surprised.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to add them in, but I'm just going to say, so I said I was going to tell you guys where I would actually put them. So X-Men Wolverine, I would put before Captain Marvel.
Yeah, it would
Captain
be.
Marvel takes place in the 90s. And well, although X-Men Wolverine technically starts in the early...
It starts in like the 1700s, but yeah.
Yeah. And then they go through the Civil War, World War I, World War II, Vietnam War. Then the bulk of the movie is...
The bulk of the movies is the 70s, yeah. So probably be before, that would be after Agent Carter, but before Captain Marvel.
I mean, you could play the machete order with Star Wars with this as well, where when you get introduced to the X-Men, then you could spin off into the other films.
Like a tree almost, like the X side.
The argument is the machete order to watch Star Wars. It is to watch 4, 5, reveal, stop, go back, watch the original trilogy, bring you back up to speed, go from there. So, I mean, the argument could be that as soon as the X-Men universe gets introduced, then you could go back and reflect back on those X-Men films.
Yeah. Whatever you reflected. I want to do chronological. It's fun. And then X-Men First Class.
Okay.
And then Captain Marvel.
Got it. I like it.
So where are you off? That's it.
All right, so I am up to number... I pull up my notes.
We'll need this list. I'll put it. I'll put it on there, so it'll be a accompanying piece that we can put up as an anime.
Once I update it to include Elektra and Daredevil, I'll update it. Just for the record, I do have the Daredevil TV shows, which you guys know I've never seen.
Yep.
Which
also
seems insane.
That seems even more insane, seeing as we were at Comic-Con the year that they were coming out, and it was everywhere.
I know. So this year at Comic-Con, there's a photo op. It's a Daredevil. It's a Charlie
Cox. Yeah.
Thank you, Charlie Cox and She-Hulk photo op. And I was like, should I get it? And just me and 2 other lawyers.
Oh, I like it.
I mean, that would be hilarious. That would be great.
I mean, you're going to take your bar with you, right? This year certificate.
Yeah.
Off my wall.
Yeah.
I'm a real lawyer.
Shit.
All right, so I'm up to number 19, which is The Amazing Spider-Man. Just for the record, that is the Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield, the first one?
The first one.
Very good.
And we've got the Venoms in this universe or not?
Forgotten Venom, and I love I love Tom Hardy.
The Venom's added in there, and then if you're adding Venom, you've got to...
You gotta add more.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got to throw in...
Adam West. I don't want to watch Morbius again.
It was... I mean, in comparison to his music videos, it's pretty standard.
I mean, it takes a lot for me.
It's just a bit longer than his normal music videos.
But it takes a lot for me not to want to watch Matt Smith.
I know. I mean, I've still not seen Madden Web.
I've listened to Madden.
But then Dakota came out the other day, didn't she? She was talking about it. She's promoting something else now. And she was like, yeah, I was really disappointed with that. She was like, they approached me with this project. They had this idea for this project. They sold me on this idea. It was brilliant. We shot that project. And then they made that. I mean, like, fair. fair to her to be able to go.
I mean, listen, at that point, she pretty much did, just by saying that, though, ruined any chance of probably working with Disney. And
I mean, that was a Sony product, so she's probably just boosted her chances working with Disney.
that is fair. But
There's only so many actors they can go through. We're getting RDJ back.
They're running short of actors.
there's an interesting rumor about RDJ as Tony Stark.
Please share.
Okay. So the theory is that Tony Stark, as we know him, as Robert Downey Jr., is not Tony Stark. That Tony Stark's parents either lost their child or put him away somewhere to not be infected by the world, and adopted a little boy who is from an adoption agency from Europe, who happens to be Victor Von Doom. And so, although he was raised as Tony Stark, in reality, he is Victor Von Doom, which is why Tony Stark actually does not look like his parents, as we know when he goes back in time with Captain America, with Steve Rogers. If you look at, I forget his father's name I forget his father's name. I should know. Howard Stark. You look at Howard Stark and you look at RDJ. They don't look all that similar. And he's
You know that's priest actors, right? They're not real.
Yes, I know this. No, but they talk about when Tony Stark's actual birthday is, and Howard Stark's saying that his wife is pregnant and is due any day. But in reality, Tony Stark would have already been born at that point. I think in the timeline, I read this somewhere. I don't know how accurate it is, but I thought it was an interesting theory.
There's crazy theories out there, and there's going to be crazy theories until we see him. Yeah, like ultimately, that's what it comes down to. There's going to be these crazy theories out there. We're not going to know how the story's going to play out. That isn't comic book accurate.
No, it's not. But Victor Von Doom is incredibly intelligent, as we all know. Moneyed individual, so
Does mean lots of.
it could fit.
It could. And there was Victor Von Doom was Iron Man at one point. Yes, he took on the mantle of Iron Man at one point. So there is that element of things, but never has Tony Stark been the Doctor Doom. But hey, it's the multiverse.
I'm excited. So wait, I have a question then. In that theory or that rumor or whatever, who died? Was that Tony Stark?
No, because
Victor Von Doom.
In that theory, it's Victor Von Doom. That Victor Von Doom never became Victor Von Doom because in Earth 616, Von Doom's parents died. So it didn't raise him as Victor, and he was just adopted by the Stark family and was raised as Tony Stark. So he thinks he's Tony Stark. In Earth, if this theory is at all accurate, which, as Max said, we'll never know until the movie comes out. But that's why the variants of Victor Von Doom look the same as Earth's Tony Stark, because they are actually one who the same.
It's interesting because I think it was Mark Miller did Red Sun Superman, and the whole idea was
that's my favorite Superman.
Yeah, and what happens if Superman ended up 15 minutes delayed coming through space, and so ended up in Russia instead of the USA. And it's this whole idea that basically he's grown up there. And the argument could be what happens if Tony Stark was born in Latveria.
Yeah.
What happens if he's born in that different environment where he views the West as a negative thing, views American, the Avengers as a negative thing, still intelligent, still the same person, but has all these different thoughts. Obviously, the Red Sun has a very different twist on it.
Yeah.
But the idea could totally be there then that what we're going to see in Doomsday is going to be this. Or, ultimately, so what? They recast. He's playing somebody else. He's an actor. That's his job. I mean, he once played a black-faced actor in a fantastic comedy.
Which could never be done today.
MCU has recast the same actors in two different parts. Gemma Chan she's in the Eternals, and she was in Captain Marvel.
And Nathan Fillion has had 4 or 5 different works. Granted,
For film.
for full throughout the MCU. as has Peter Dinklage as well. But granted, his other role was in the X-Men, X-Men Days of Future Past, or one of those.
So, coming back to the question, Mallory, you're up to 19.
I'm up to number 9.
Managed to add about 7 more to your list, so we're now at 130.
Thanks, guys.
What I will say to you is if you can track it down, watch the director's cut of Daredevil.
Yes. So that one I might have it.
Okay.
I will look and I will let you know, Mal. So if I do,
I tried to dig up mine the other day and I couldn't find the director's cut. It might just be buried.
I'm pretty sure I do have it in my disc, in my CD booklet.
Coolio's in it. That's the difference.
Yep.
Coolio's in it.
And that makes all the difference.
It makes a difference. It's about 16 minutes longer, and they add a storyline in it. But it's a storyline that makes Matt Murdock, the lawyer, part of the story rather than just Daredevil.
Gotcha.
That is true.
Changes the whole
More lawyers. We need more lawyers to be MCQ.
So then if you're at 19, what was the one that you just finished?
So I just finished Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episodes 1 through 7 of the first season. Which I haven't seen since it came out.
Now, did you watch all of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah. When it was on air, I did. Yeah. So I have not watched anything so far that I haven't already seen. It's just been a while since I've seen these.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, do not add more to your list or anything. What happened with what were they called? Oh my god, it's just totally escaped me. The guys that live on the moon, Black Bolt. They made a film. They made an IMAX series that had like.
Oh, are you talking about Are you talking? Oh my god, I think in the Inhumans.
Yes, my mind kept going Eternals, but with Fly. I was like, no, it's not that.
That was
Played Ramsey Bolton.
Yes, he is.
And that, yes, yeah.
All right, it is. First of all, whatever his name is, Matt, you probably can pronounce it better than we can because it's a Welsh name. Yeah. He's fantastic. He can do no wrong. I mean,
Misfits.
he's amazing.
He's pretty neat in everything he's in.
Yeah, but I love him.
Except for Misfits. Well, season 2 he gets a little weird, but season 1.
But he's one of those actors that he's just so good that like you viscerally hate the character. Which I don't know, to me that's just a sign of a really good actor. Yeah. But The Inhumans is number 64. So do you want to adding to my list? It's on there.
That's okay. I would wait to like watch that like really late at night so you just fall asleep while watching it. They can't be hits. They can't all be hits.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it actually. I remember really enjoying it.
There were aspects of it that I thought were a lot of fun, but I much preferred the Inhumans portrayal in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
But what's interesting, of course, is the only reason we got the Inhumans was because they didn't have the rights to the X-Men. And then as they were building up to release the Eternals, they announced they had the rights back to the X.
But they'd already shot, produced, edited the Eternals, and it was still a steam pile of crap.
So that might actually answer a question I had. Because, yeah, I'm rewatching everything. I'm just finished Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And the last few episodes, they were talking about there are certain people that S.H.I.E.L.D. is watching. People with special powers. And, one of them could hold fire in his hands. I think I remember, I might be wrong and this hasn't happened yet, but I remember somebody kind of turns into a porcupine looking person. And at no point do they call them mutants. And in my mind, I'm like, but aren't they still mutants? They're not just people with special powers.
So they're not.
Okay, what's the difference?
They're not. The reason why they're not. So mutants are humans that have a mutant gene within their system, right? And they're mutants from day one. Whereas most, Max, correct me if I'm incorrect, but the Inhumans have DNA in them that's from the alien race, the Kree.
Okay.
And that's only activated when they are exposed to, I believe it's called Terrigen.
Sounding familiar.
Yeah, so there are Terrigen crystals that when a regular person, just a regular human, touches it, they turn to stone, and they die. But when an inhuman with their human DNA touches it, they also turn to stone, kind of like a cocoon, though. And then a few minutes later, they are reborn as their true self. But essentially, they have alien DNA.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And there was a whole series in the comic books where, effectively the Inhumans weaponized it, or members of the Inhumans weaponized it, turned it into a mist, and the mist went around the world, and it turned a load of people who were dormant Inhumans into full Inhumans because they came in touch.
And that does kind of happen in Indian fields, except for it's not a mist. It gets dropped into the ocean. The fish eat it. The fish get turned into omega-3 pills. People take the omega-3 pills and either die or become a human. Oh, no, they don't die. Just it's diluted enough that regular humans don't die, but Inhumans have enough of it in them that makes them have the change.
Well, let's see when I get there, because I have 2 more sections of season 1 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I think there's like 6 seasons.
There are 7 seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but they only follow the MCU, I believe, until season 3. Then it goes off on its own tangent.
Right.
Because the MCU was not acknowledging anything in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And then they were just like, you know what? If you're not going to acknowledge us, we're not going to acknowledge you. And went off on their own thing.
So I think a point where we'll find out that they're in a different universe. They're going to be in universe whatever. It doesn't have to.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah.
Well, no, because I don't think so, because Coulson is part of Earth 616.
Yeah, but Coulson also dies in 616.
No, but
Scream, and then we don't know that he was ever reborn. He's just been to Tahiti.
He's went to Tahiti. It's a beautiful place.
So could he,
Magical place.
Do you know what I mean? He could have missed the Battle of New York because he was in Tahiti.
No, he has a scar because he's had this whole thing.
Remember, every decision that is made creates a branched off universe.
Alright, now we're getting tiresome, man. Now we're getting into the time zone and Doctor Strange.
But that's what there's always that possibility that you can just go, it's a different universe, gone in a different direction.
Yeah.
Squirrel.
No, but he remembers being stabbed in the heart by Loki.
Yeah, and then it veers off, goes in a different direction.
So, I'll let you know as I continue.
I mean, there was always the argument, wasn't it, that Kevin Feige, when he was in charge of Marvel movies, they had the Marvel TV shows, they were very different entities, and they were going in different directions, and Feige was very protective about his universe. Now we've reached the point where he was probably right to be protective about that universe because Disney just absolutely drilled it into the ground.
Yeah.
And questions gone away.
I mean, I'm not necessarily swallowed that.
I think he was walking away on his own. I think
Guardians 2 was a step down, and Guardians 3 for me was a step down again.
Yeah.
I just have like such a love for Guardians 1.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Totally. I would say it's top 5 Marvel product out there with everything that we've had. I still think Guardians 1 is a top 5 product. I wouldn't know, maybe not top 3, but I think it's top 5. You got characters that make absolutely no sense, but yet they make so much sense when they're together.
It's okay. I enjoy it. It's a good film.
Yeah. Know what I learned as I'm rewatching? Do you know who wrote the screenplay for Iron Man 2?
Jon Favreau.
No.
No?
No.
Who was it?
He wrote the first one.
Yeah. Justin Theroux.
Okay. It's what's interesting about that is if you go back and watch Robert Downey Jr.'s interviews, he'll tell you there wasn't a script. He'll tell you that they were showing up on set each day, and Jon Favreau was like,
Just handing them pages.
It's like, this is what we're going to do. He's like, loads of this was improv. He was like, Jon Favreau would show up and he'd be like, this is what we're trying to get out of this scene. Go.
For Iron Man 2?
Yeah.
I know, it doesn't surprise. I think it was.
I would have been more.
I think it was like first screenplay.
Okay.
Interesting. I would have thought more of that about Iron Man 3. I feel like that
Not
was.
there yet.
Okay.
But we're getting
We're on 19. We're on 19.
What about Ironheart?
Oh, I think that's on it. Oh, God, I think it's on it.
What about Isabel Kanda? Have you added that?
I know. There's no
You're
conflict.
definitely over 130 projects.
Because I mean, you've missed points. Because Eyes of Wakanda, some of that set thousands of years ago.
The only cartoon movies that are on here, or cartoon shows, or anything, is What If.
Eyes of Wakanda should definitely be included.
What if though? Is definitely
Ironheart's 110.
Okay. No, it's fine. Eyes of Wakanda can be 139. That's fine.
I do have the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special on
Yeah,
here.
that's important.
Oh boy.
That's important.
Get ready for Kevin Bacon.
Yep. All about Kevin.
Oh, he was in X-Men,
He was. You're right. Yeah.
First Class, and he was in Odd City.
Interesting. Where are they going to tie that one in? I was having a conversation with somebody recently. I was in a group chat, and somebody said, "So what Earth do we live on? Do we live on 615 without any superheroes?" I was like,
Woo.
I don't know. We've all been to New Asgard.
"We've been in New Asgard." You're right.
I've been to New Asgard. I have a picture from there.
I also have a picture from there.
Just the other day. Okay.
So I finished number 27 yesterday, which was the end of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1. They broke it up into 3 parts. So I finished, I think last week I'd finished episodes 1 through 7.
Yep, part
So,
1.
yeah. So then I finished part 2 and part 3 of season 1. So which means in the last week I have watched The Amazing Spider-Man, The Wolverine, Thor Dark World, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episodes 8 through 22, Iron Man 3, Captain America Winter Soldier, X-Men Days of Future Past, and The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Okay, so
I have to say, out of the bulk, that's a pretty decent bulk with one exception. Maybe 2.
What's the exception?
Well, you know what? I like to see if you would guess which 2 there I think are borderline trash.
My guess, and if I'm correct, you're wrong, is The Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh my god, absolutely not. No.
Good.
Oh, those are the Andrew Garfields. I liked him as
He was so good.
He was sarcastic. It was fun. No, those are not the 2. I wonder if Max can guess it. I just think there is.
World.
Thank you. Yes, no, that's one of them.
And I am
a second. You know what? Maybe it's 3 that are trash. No. So my other one was the Wolverine.
Okay, yeah. I mean, what shows did you say were in there? Sorry.
So it's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1, episodes 8 through 22.
Okay. I mean, I would argue that there was about 16 episodes of a TV show trash there.
Season 1 was actually pretty good.
You're gonna find some that are a bust.
Yeah. But I liked season 1 because watching the show with the movies, they actually do pair up really well. So I went right from Thor: The Dark World to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1, episode 8. And the very first thing they're doing is cleaning up in London from the big mess. So it goes right into it. And then season 1, episode 17, if you watched it right after Captain America, the Winter Soldier, you also see Hydra starting to take over from their perspective. So at least in that season, they're still pretty hand in hand with the movies, which is nice.
Okay.
I enjoy it.
I mean, I've had issues with the S.H.I.E.L.D. show. I think I watched parts of it. I've never seen it all the way through. I enjoyed the Ghost Rider run. Quite.
Yeah, they did, but not Johnny Blaze. It was Robbie Reyes.
It was Robbie. Yeah. I enjoyed that, and there was talk there was going to be a spin-off show, and then that didn't happen because they were like, "Oh no, we've just burned 3/4 of our season budget doing the special effects for these 4 episodes."
Which I think that was a great arc, and he does come back very briefly later in the show. But I think that was a great arc. I think that was like season 4. I want to say.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I was right.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, you'll let us know.
So what are your thoughts?
So, okay, so I have 2 parallels that I've noticed. And I don't know if they're meant to be parallels or if it was just complete coincidence. The first one I think was meant to be. So the very first episode of Agent Carter, I'm backing up now.
Okay.
It's like the second thing I watched. Howard Stark is on the run and he's being accused of treason because his inventions were stolen. And they're being used by the bad guys. But then we fast forward to Iron Man. First 20 minutes of the movie, Tony Stark finds out that his weapons are being used by the bad guys. So I just thought that was an interesting parallel between Howard and Tony, and obviously Agent Carter came out years after Iron Man. So I thought that was interesting. I want to know your guys' thoughts on it, if it was coincidence, meant to be, something else.
Luke, you go. You go.
You know,
His dogs are growing.
oh yeah, my dog. Yeah, Dozer wanted to offer her opinion. But I do think that, especially early MCU, there's not a lot of things that I think that were done that were not done on purpose. So I do think that there is a correlation between the Agent Carter, Howard Stark on the run, and obviously the Iron Man 3. I do think that there was some type of connection there. I think they wanted to echo that, although Tony maybe took things a step further than Howard and also changed Stark Industries to being more of a peacekeeping green energy, and it was the military side of it. I do think they're showing the parallel between, yes, Tony has taken a step in a different direction than his father Howard, but they are still kind of very similar individuals, step ahead of everybody, both intelligently, financially. I do think there's a connection.
I mean, Iron Man 3 is just a mess of a movie.
No, regular Iron Man. Like when Iron Man 1.
Okay.
When, the first 20 minutes of the movie, he's getting blown up by an IED. And then he's captured. And that's when he finds out, because he's right there, and he's like, there's a bomb. It says Stark Industries.
Yeah, I mean,
that's when
he has to then make the change, but that's part of his evolution, isn't it? That's his story. That's his origin story. He has to be a person who changes, a person who develops, and we get this brief glimpse of old Tony Stark. We never really know old Tony Stark.
No, I mean, we only see old Tony Stark, the billionaire playboy for the first, like you said, Mal, like the first 20 minutes of the movie. And then after that, it's kind of a perpetual redemption arc pretty much throughout his entire time in the MCU.
Right the way up to you're not the, what does he say in Avengers 1? The Cap says, you're not the guy that lays on the barbed wire for somebody else to crawl out.
And then he proves that wrong when we get to the snap.
Although I love his comment, he goes, "No, I'll just cut the wire."
Yeah,
I do like that back and forth.
It's good, but it's that idea. But ultimately, Cap's right. We see that when we get to the end. Sometimes you can't just cut the wire. That's the problem that we've got there. I mean, Tony Stark does a good redemption arc. He's a good character. He is the heart of the MCU. Mm-hmm. That's sort of the problem I think that we maybe have had, is there's not been a heart of the MCU.
I think it's a combination of him and Evans. I think, not having Chris Evans as Captain America, I love Anthony Mackie. I think he was phenomenal as the Falcon. I don't think a lot of people gave him enough credit for his work as Captain America, especially in the Falcon Winter Soldier show, which Mallory will get to eventually.
Which is so good, by the way.
It's so good. It's so good. I love that dynamic between him and Bucky is just, that's everything. That's what I think that's where his movie, and I know we're skipping way ahead. I think that's where his movie kind of got hurt, was that had Bucky for about a minute and a half.
There was a reason for that. I get that, because what we didn't want was a Captain America and Bucky movie. Yeah,
and I did.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you want that, you want like a World War II, let's fill a gap. Let's see what happened when they were on the front lines type story.
And I agree. I think the Captain America is a good film. It's enjoyable. It's got issues. It's got issues that I'll get to in a little while. That all, I think all the comic book movies at the moment have. You know, there's a problem across the board with them at the moment. So
Actually, I do want more. I wish they did. I wish they did more with the Howling Commandos.
Yep.
Because they're obviously in Captain America. They come back in Agent Carter, and then actually in Agents of Shield season 1, one of the Howling Commandos' grandsons is in Shield, and he has his grandfather as like tools and toys, and it's fun to watch. And so I wish they did more with the Howling Commandos.
Yeah, I think that was a missed opportunity for them.
I think maybe that was, you know, when they first talked about Marvel TV shows, maybe that's what we needed to see, a Howling Commandos, you know, where Cap has a cameo and Bucky has a cameo, or, you know, Howard Stark has a cameo, but them behind enemy lines doing their thing maybe a little would have been quite an interesting thing to see. But there's still opportunity to do that. That's the greatest thing about this MCU is they can jump back and forth, they can drop back. Almost Star Wars-esque, where, you know, we can jump back and forth, Ahsoka and where are we in the timeline and all those sorts of things. The Acolyte, we can go all the way back.
We should talk about both of those at some point too.
Yeah, absolutely should. I'm sure they'll come up. Okay. So,
well, I'll tell you my other coincidence I saw, parallel. I think this one was truly more of like a Disney princess, their mother always dies type of thing. But I found it interesting. And again, I'm not putting these things, I've watched all these things already, but I didn't like put together the parallels until I'm watching them in this order. Obviously, Peter Parker becomes Spider-Man, and then Uncle Ben dies because of something that Peter did. It's different in the Tobey Maguire versus the Andrew Garfield. We don't see it in the Tom Holland one. But he made a choice. He let a bad guy go. Uncle Ben dies. Mm-hmm. In Thor: The Dark World, the same thing happens with Loki. Loki makes a choice, points the bad guy in the right direction, and Freya dies. And I thought that was an interesting parallel. And again, I don't know, I think that might have been more of a coincidence. Again, like Disney princess, mom always dies. But I hadn't noticed it before.
Is that not the start, though, of Loki's redemption arc? Because until that point, Loki's lost nothing. He doesn't realize he's lost anything. You know, we know that he had his family before, but the only person that he's got any attachment to in that whole universe at that point is Freya, his mum. Yeah. And as you said, he points him in the direction, then that happens. And that's the step-up moment for him where he's like, oh, maybe I'm not all bad. Maybe there's a good side to me. And, you know, we get that element of Loki. So maybe that is the parallel. You know, but every hero has their redemption arc. Most heroes, I was having this conversation with Molly recently about stories. Like all heroes, like they have to go through their journey. They have to learn something about themselves. It's the hero's journey. And for Loki, maybe it starts there. Until that point, at least for us as an audience, until that point, he's a villain.
Yeah, he's a great villain too.
Oh, yes.
We've said that about Tom Cruise movies before. Like, you know, he's the best at what he does. Something happens. He has a crisis of faith. Then he rises to the occasion, and like everybody's, you know, that is just good storytelling. To your point,
It's Toy Story, and Top, both the exact same storyline.
You're not wrong, but
you know, what can we say? Okay.
Listen, I have plenty more to talk about. That'll be more of different podcasts, different episodes. So stay tuned. But on deck for tonight, your top favorite and mine, Guardians of the Galaxy.
There we go. I was going to say what's next. Okay, Guardians. You know, it is a good one. It holds up. It's good.
That sounds like
Guardians.
you.
Quite possibly one of the best soundtracks ever.
Yeah.
Like I think that'll go. Maybe that's something for a future podcast. Best soundtracks.
Well, okay. One of the other things I noted was in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, Danny Elfman was the sound director, musician. I don't know what they're called. Composer. Thank you. And I mean, I love Danny Elfman. I think he's great, but he really does do great superhero soundtracks. Like, he just has that sound.
He does everything well, though, doesn't he, Danny Elfman? You know, like,
Yeah.
I mean, Danny Elfman, he has the fun. John Williams has epic status. Danny Elfman has the fun. Like,
Thank you. That's what I was thinking of. I'm thinking like John Williams, just that huge, you immediately just feel what's going on in this room because of John Williams. Yeah.
and Elfman just has that funness about him. You know, that about him. Yeah. So the Tobey Maguire ones, they also had, they not have Chad Kruger sing a song on the second one.
Oh, I think they did, like in the credits.
Which is funny because I was at the gym the other day listening to my emo mix, and on comes Evanescence, who had a huge part of the soundtrack for Daredevil. So it was one of those ones where I was just like, there you go, look at that coming full circle. Which brings me to another point. So we were talking there about Spider-Man and Spider-Man's origin story. Have you seen the Amazing Spider-Man, the Spider-Man cartoon that's on Disney Plus?
No.
Is it on your list?
No.
No, needs to be.
Are we adding more to my list?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. It's really good. I watched it. It was one actually that I did watch with the kids. And they I think they dropped 2 episodes the first week, and then it was an episode a week for like 6 weeks. And it's fantastic. It's very, very good. For me, being able to sit and watch it with the kids as well. You know, we get to see some new villains. We get to play along. But then that pulls it into the Spider-Verse. Are we counting those?
Those are great.
There's either of those films. Are we counting those? Are they on your list?
No.
So we've got
I know.
3 of them.
Okay, I made a choice. I made a choice that there's going to be no cartoons except for What If.
Okay.
She did say that last week, but I think this is a perfect time, as we're talking about Mallory's list, to inform her that she is missing 3 key movies. And I would say arguably 2 of the best movies that were pre-MCU.
Yeah.
The third one, yeah.
Yeah, but the third one does introduce us to another character, another actor, and does recast.
Yes, that's very true. And
What movies, and why are you guys talking about me behind my back?
Sound of the
This came up this week where I can't remember. I'd messaged you and I was like, oh my god, Mallory's forgotten something. And I said, and he's like, what? And I was like, the Blade trilogy.
Wesley Snipes' Blade trilogy.
I did think about it.
Okay.
Okay.
I did think about it, and then honestly forgot about it.
I mean, same rules as Daredevil and Elektra here.
It does. They operate kind of independently, but then you did have Wesley Snipes and Deadpool Wolverine, so
now they are attached, and supposedly we've got a new Blade movie coming. You know, it was teased at the end of the Eternals.
I don't think it's coming.
Sorry, it's been spoken about recently, and they said that they didn't like the script, so they've gone back to the drawing board. They're going again with the script.
Is it like when they discuss Gambit with Channing Tatum for years and never happened?
you've been waiting for that for over a year.
That's true.
True.
That's
That was when it was under Fox. But who's the actor playing Blade? Because he's also been in an MCU product.
Mahershala Ali, isn't it? That was who they.
Yes, because he played Cottonmouth in Cage.
He did. Luke Cage, which apparently this week has been what they've been using to film, is the code words, but the code name they've been using to film Avengers at the moment.
Oh, don't tease me with that, man. Michael Coulter as Luke Cage. I want that so bad. He was so good in that role. I want more.
He's coming back. There's no way he's not. And in the Eyes of Wakanda, we've had an Iron Fist. So Iron Fist has been introduced, but not Iron Fist as we know Iron Fist, old, hundreds of thousands of years ago Iron Fist.
I watched the first episode of that, and I have to say, I love the animation. I haven't watched the other 3 episodes that are out, but the first one I really did enjoy. Yeah. The animation was gorgeous.
It's beautiful. So yeah, Blade. You need to get Blade added to your list.
Fine, finally, 126.
Mallory, where did you get to? What
Yes.
have you watched this week?
So this week was kind of a slow week. Getting ready for vacation. So I have only watched it's still kind of scary. I've still watched this much in a week. Guardians of the Galaxy, X-Men Apocalypse, Deadpool, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
So
I mean, you got a couple of bangers there.
Oh, it was a good week. It was a very
Yeah,
enjoyable
a couple
week.
of bangers there.
And X-Men Apocalypse, I still think it's pretty good. It's obviously not the same caliber as Deadpool and the Guardians, but
No, but that's hard to measure up to because those are two borderline perfect movies in this genre. Now, Apocalypse, remind me, is that the one with Peter Dinklage, or am I thinking of Days of Future Past?
Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
Apocalypse is the one with who's the guy that plays Moon Knight?
yeah, it is, and he plays Apocalypse.
Oscar Isaac.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oscar Isaac. Yeah.
As Apocalypse,
Yeah, he
the first movie.
Because he was Poe Dameron in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Right. Same actor.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But Sophie Turner is in it. She's introduced to the X-Men as young Jean Grey. We're back to our young X-Men. You have Michael Fassbender. You have, why am I blanking on his name?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness, who plays Professor Xavier?
Oh, no, I'm blanking on his name. It's right, Wanted.
Such a versatile actor.
Yeah, totally.
And Glass and Split, I believe.
Yeah.
Google.
Those that's something for another conversation. Those M. Night Shyamalan movies with Unbreakable, like that's something else we could talk about. But he who is that actor?
James McAvoy.
James McAvoy.
There we go. Yes, phenomenal.
Yeah.
So
He's
good.
so talented. Can do anything.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's an interesting movie because the first movie after Days of Future Past, so it's now a different timeline than the original X-Men movie because they changed the future in Days of Future Past. So you are reintroduced to Storm, and her relationship with them is different than it was initially. So it's a pretty cool movie. I enjoyed it. It's obviously way different than Deadpool and Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's a different caliber. It's a different level. Like it's not there.
No,
Those
but
two are
still
pretty
good.
high up.
Yeah.
Still good.
Olivia
Dude,
Munn,
Mhm.
Olivia Munn was so good in this. Underutilized in the MCU.
It's my question to you, first question, it occurred to me was, you said Guardians of the Galaxy, then X-Men, then Deadpool, then Guardians of the Galaxy 2. But Guardians and Guardians 2 are meant to be watched, like, concurrently, right? They're set, timeline-wise, back-to-back.
Much.
It is.
Because I'm
So did you actually just insert those two movies in there, or somebody recommended that you watch
So
it?
I inserted them because while they are meant to watch back to back, there's a gap in between them. Just because, they're now the Guardians, they're defending the galaxy, they're being hired to do other jobs. Like it starts off with them trying to get save the batteries for the Sovereign.
Some of them are trying to get the
and
batteries, some of them are trying to benefit from the batteries. There's different.
So rocket.
yeah, and obviously Groot has grown. So because Guardians 1 ends with him just a little stick. Guardians 2 starts off, he has legs.
Yeah.
So there's obviously a gap. So I filled that gap with X-Men and Deadpool. And it's just more because of when both movies were released, that they were released in between both Guardians. So,
Okay.
That's reasonable. Yeah.
Okay, so Guardians.
Yeah.
How's it holding up for you?
So good. Soundtrack, phenomenal. Movies, phenomenal.
Why didn't you say
knowing what it's so fun rewatching them, knowing what's going to happen and kind of the things that you do see online. like the fact that Peter Quill has the translator behind his ear. And so now you notice it, that it's behind his ear. And then knowing what's going to happen in Guardians 3 and seeing the way that Rocket acts is it's just kind of interesting to watch. And Yondu, love Yondu. I mean, you don't realize how much you love Yondu in the first movie, and then rewatching it, knowing what's going to happen in the second movie, he's just amazing. Everyone loves the "I'm Mary Poppins, y'all" line.
Great.
At Comic-Con, the year that after that movie was released, I actually saw him at a panel, and he called up James Gunn, left him a voicemail with the entire audience yelling "I'm Mary Poppins, y'all."
Yeah.
And in typical Mallory fashion, it still makes me cry.
Of course.
Every night of his funeral, I cry. And you guys know, you get me with a good movie, I'm gonna cry.
That scene in Guardians 2 is just, not only is it emotional because you've seen this, you've learned about Yondu's kind of like being a father figure to Peter Quill for almost his entire life. I mean, Peter Quill gets abducted at what, like he's 10, I think?
He's something as young.
Like 10, 11, somewhere along those lines. And obviously now he's in his 40s. So he's really the only father he's ever known, because he didn't really know Ego. I mean, he learns about him, obviously. But just, not only is it just beautiful emotionally, just the visuals were absolutely stunning. I mean, if we could be in space right now, I feel like that would be my funeral that I would want. I would want a Ravager funeral. I want all of those, the lights and everything else, and all that. It's a celebration.
So my issue with them is Guardians 1 is brilliant and holds up. Guardians 1 is an outstanding movie, and I could watch it week in, week out. Love every minute of it. I think it's so well done. Guardians 2 is not on the same level.
Definitely not. But I think it doesn't drop as much as other sequels do. I mean, everyone knows a sequel is never as good as the original movie, except for Terminator. Terminator 2, definitely better than the original Terminator.
Agreed. And also, I would wager I make a same argument for essentially Captain America.
I literally was going to say Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier.
I just watched both of them. I still think the original is better, and I love Winter Soldier.
No, Winter Soldier is probably the best of the entire.
I think that's yeah.
Well, regardless, there's still not a lot of sequels that are better than the original.
You're right.
But considering how much sequels tend to drop, I don't think Guardians 2 dropped as much as other sequels.
Yeah.
I think it still had the heart. And I really enjoyed how they introduced Mantis.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
everyone loves the Drax Mantis relationship. I love when he tells her that she's beautiful and then waits and is on the inside.
I think Dave Bautista as Drax is possibly the standout character. Like, we always knew, anybody who's watched Parks and Rec, you knew what you were going to get, right, in the lead character. Zoe Saldana is there to kick ass. She's brilliant. She's fantastic. She does what she's going to do. Karen Gillan, fantastic. Like, another great story arc. First one, brilliant because of who she is, and the evolution into the second one, and then put through that. So we see that. But Drax is just brilliant. He is the straight man. He gets all the best lines, gets to play that tire fish out.
Yeah.
But his delivery and the script is out of this world.
You don't have to believe in yourself, because I believe in you. I never thought she'd be able to do it with as weak and skinny as she appears to be.
You're right about his delivery. I feel like that's what gives it those pauses that he puts that almost don't belong, and sometimes in some of the sentences, but like that pause that he gives just makes it brilliant.
Yeah,
you're right.
And he's almost the heart of it. Like we talked about how you have the heart of the different things. He's almost the heart of this, because he's quietly beating in the background and doing his thing and gluing things together in that way but he also just brings the humor at those moments. You know, it's that the lines he brings, the humor he brings, almost to the point where, you know, Mallory's about to cry and then Drax delivers a line, and it just takes the edge off. Right. So, no, I absolutely, Guardians 1 is fantastic and is one of the best of the MCU films, I would argue. I know Leach has put together a spreadsheet and we're all going to start scoring these films as we go through them. But I'm going to call it right now, Guardians will be in the top 5. I would argue.
It's just so good. So good.
It's definitely in my top 5, and it has been, I mean, for a long time, because it's the perfect team up movie. It's got a phenomenal soundtrack. The visuals are stunning. Some of the funniest lines in any movie. And it's just yeah.
Somebody says to you, put on a Guardians movie, which one are you putting on?
Bring on one.
One.
Yeah.
Whereas if somebody says to me, put on a Captain America movie, which one are you putting on? I'm putting on Winter Soldier.
I'm putting on Civil War.
Yeah, that still wouldn't.
Haven't gotten back to my rewatch, but I love Civil War.
Civil War's great, but Civil War is just an unofficial Avengers movie, isn't it?
That's why I almost don't want to call it. That's why I agree with you, Max. I think I would put on Winter Soldier because for me, Civil War is Avengers 2.5. Yeah, exactly. You took the words out of my mouth. Avengers 2.5. That's what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
But one of the things that I think we could talk about at another time, which I didn't realize it until I was rewatching Guardians 2, is Nepo babies.
Go on.
Because obviously Kurt Russell is Ego.
Yep.
And Wyatt Russell is the Patriot.
Yeah. That was something I'd not put.
I did not get that connection until just now.
I mean,
You're welcome.
nepotism is rife, and Guardians of the Galaxy is an example of that because whose brother's in it gets a starring role suddenly becomes a huge factor in it. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Right. Also, Sean Gunn has 2 roles. He plays, I'm going to forget the Ravenger's name, like the main character he plays. But then he's also the body double for Rocket.
Yep. And I mean,
oh yeah,
I'd love to know is that an Oasis style? You know, Noel, take Liam with you because you're babysitting. Is Mrs. Gunn be like, you have to babysit him, you take him and look after him, and he's like, well, if I'm making a film, you're in it. Go on you go.
No, but he's good. He's the one that always gets me during the funeral scene because all the Ravagers are there. They're coming in because Rocket called them. And what you may have forgotten about the movie is in the beginning of the movie or shortly after the beginning of the movie, Sylvester Stallone tells Yondu he's never getting a Ravager's funeral because he kidnapped children and essentially and we don't know at the time, but what he did was giving them to Ego. And he's like, you don't deal in kids. You're like out, you're done. And it destroyed Yondu. And Sean Gunn's character hears it. And then at the end of the movie, when they're all there because Rocket told them what they did, I'm already getting goosebumps just talking about it. And Sean Gunn starts like hooting and hollering. Like that's what gets me because like his eyes are filled with tears. I start crying.
I think my issue with the second one is Ego. It just isn't a great character, isn't a great villain.
No,
just doesn't feel. I don't know. There's just something about Ego I don't think feels threatening enough, which is strange because ultimately Ego, is pretty huge. But we get the Watchers in 2, right? There's that part where they jump through time and Stan Lee's sitting with the Watchers.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty cool.
right. Stan Lee's with him.
Yeah. But Ego just doesn't do it for me as a villain. Just doesn't. I don't know.
I think it's necessary just to explain Peter Quill, but I don't think he needed to be the main villain. I would have liked there to be a bigger villain, and Ego is more of like the side villain. You know, you're finish Act 2, you think you're done, but wait, there's more.
Yeah. Okay. We've driven into the Guardians. We briefly discussed Apocalypse. What I can say is I watched Apocalypse when it first came out, and I was really disappointed with it and thought it was a mess of a movie. Nothing to do with what is an outstanding cast, let's not lie about it. I just didn't think it worked particularly well. I'd have to go back and watch it, but I just feel like it had loads of flaws in it.
Yeah, I remember the same. I think I've maybe watched it twice. I think when it came out in the cinema, and I think I've watched it 1 or 2 times maybe on the streaming. And my memory of it is very similar to yours, Max. That cast is great because I loved X-Men First Class. I thought that was actually a really good kind of reset, especially with James McAvoy as Dr. X. I really enjoyed Days of Futures Past. That kind of bridged, obviously, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine coming into now this younger cast situation. I do remember being disappointed with Apocalypse for a multitude of reasons, and it's just, for me, it doesn't. But I had an issue with it, but nothing that I can really remember, and I think that's also kind of telling. Like, I can't even remember what I didn't like about it. I just know I didn't like it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I there's nothing I can think. I couldn't. There's nothing it put me off the next film. Like, it put me off Dark Phoenix. It left a bad taste in my mouth about the X-Men movies.
I don't even think I've seen Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
I've seen it once.
I don't even think I watched it. And that's with Sophie Turner, right? That's Jean Grey. That's Sophie Turner.
Yeah. So yeah, it definitely. I know it was a big misstep, I think, in the X-Men, in what was up until that point some very good X-Men movies.
Agreed.
And I think it's because, and maybe the reason why you guys didn't like it as much is that the bad guy, because normally it is Magneto versus the rest of the X-Men, and it's Magneto who has a good reason for wanting to go after the humans. I mean, he survived the Nazis. He could see in the tea leaves essentially what could happen to mutants.
Yep.
And so in his mind, he's trying just to save his people. And so he's a bad guy for a bad reason. Yeah,
he's been persecuted twice, obviously being, Jewish in Nazi Germany, and then obviously being a mutant as well, so
the thing is
that, what do you want? Shame on you, fool me twice. He's like, I'm not going to play that game.
Yeah. Whereas Apocalypse is really just like mutants are bust. He has no reason to hate the humans. He just does. So he's just kind of, I think, a little more flat as a bad guy.
I mean, the greatest thing about the X-Men was they always wanted the same thing. It was equality. It was always about equality. And doesn't matter what generation you look at the X-Men as characters, and what they're doing. They're fighting for race rights. They're fighting for gender equality. They're fighting for rights for it's always the same thing. They fight for rights, but they both want the same thing.
That Apocalypse.
Let's just say Professor X and Magneto, they want the same thing. They just want to go about it in different ways. Magneto is very much wanted to go about it. You say that in some of the stories in the comic books and stuff, that changes. That whole dynamic moves on. And it'll be interesting to see now the X-Men are back in the MCU. What's to happen? What are we going to get with the X-Men? So that's
know what I want more of? And I know we get it eventually, but I do want more Evan Peters as Quicksilver. He's just so different than the Quicksilver we get in Age of Ultron. And I think he's just more fun. I think he's more realistic in terms of he's a kid, he's feeling.
Well, don't get him for a hot second.
Yeah, but this is it, isn't it? We get that whole thing in WandaVision.
Where WandaVision, yeah.
He is there and he is playing a character by that name, but remember at that point they didn't have the rights to the X-Men, and so it was this whole weird sort of scenario, and then we hadn't really gone into the multiverse at that point either.
It's so true. I forgot that at that point when WandaVision came out, they hadn't made the deal with Fox yet. Forgot that.
But it was still fun. And his scenes are so much fun. His scene actually in Apocalypse, I think, is one of my favorite scenes, where what's his face? Who's the guy with the glasses? His brother blows up the school, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
And Evan Peters shows up right in the nick of time and is just running through, saving everybody. And it's in slow-mo. It's not paused, which is correct, because it's not like the world stops around him. It just goes slower around him. And so him saving everybody, including the fish, including the dog, it's a fun scene.
So, spin off a little bit here on that. You know what's a fun scene? Is the scene in the Flash movie, the opening scene in the Flash movie.
Oh, yeah.
where he does
Oh,
the exact same sort of thing, but he's running out of energy and the food and all that. The CGI is awful. The CGI in that scene is so bad on those babies. I don't know how that ever made it through. It was almost like they went, we have budget to market this movie, or we can fix how bad these babies look. And they were like, let's market it. Like there was some conversation somewhere where they were just like, oh, they never got around to finish it. But the CGI is awful. I actually like that movie. I think
The Flash?
The Flash is a very good movie. I think it's fun. It's everything it should be. I know there's lots of issues with the actor. There's lots of things going on behind the scenes, but I actually enjoyed that movie. And that scene, I think, is loads and loads of fun. Even his interaction, right the way up to the point where they interact with Wonder Woman, and the lasso of truth is on Batman. What did he say? Batfleck says something. It's really out of character, but it's brilliant. And then, and then he says, "I'm still a virgin," or something along those lines. The Flash. He's like, "I don't mean that. That's not true."
I don't think I've seen it since that came out. Maybe I'll give that one a go.
It's much better than. It was probably one of the better films of that DCEU. I would argue.
Yeah, that I think we should do an episode just on that one of these days because.